You're looking at quarterbacks who got paid like superstars, but might not survive this season. Guys sitting on contracts worth over $1 billion combined. 8 of them are fighting for their careers, and some are gonna lose. Let's start with the one who can't stay healthy. Number 8, Kyler Murray has become a $230 million question mark. So Kyler Murray, dude got $230 million from Arizona, right? 5 years. And when they gave him that money, they were like, this guy's gonna be the future. Super fast, crazy good, turns broken plays into magic. You know the type. Then what happens? He gets hurt. Gets hurt again. And now Cardinals fans are sitting there counting games like, wait, how many has he actually played versus how much we're paying him? You know what's tough about this? Murray can still ball. Like, he'll make some throw that reminds you why they paid him all that money. But then boom, he's out 3 games and you're watching some random backup get destroyed while Murray's on the sideline wearing a baseball cap. Everyone's thinking the same thing. Maybe this dude just can't handle 17 games a year. If that's true, Cardinals just screwed themselves for 5 years. Number 7. Justin Herbert's stats are perfect, and it doesn't matter at all. Now Herbert. This guy's problem is actually worse than Murray's. He's amazing at literally everything except winning when it counts. Chargers gave him $262 million. Look at his stats. 5,000 yards every season, cannon for an arm, great completion percentage. Playoff wins? 0 that matter. Jim Harbaugh shows up. Harbaugh cares about January. Herbert in January? Invisible. Herbert does everything right. Says the right things, looks perfect in October, then playoffs hit and everything falls apart. Chargers fans have seen this movie so many times they know every scene. If Herbert doesn't win a playoff game this year, he's gonna get stuck with the worst label in sports. Great regular season guy who chokes when everyone's watching. And once you get that label, it never goes away. Number 6. Russell Wilson is learning what rock bottom actually looks like. Speaking of labels that stick, Russell Wilson just found out New York media is as brutal as everyone warned him. He wins the Giants starting job, the team goes 0-3 right away, and now Brian Daboll is looking at everything. He's about to bench this guy and act like it was always the plan. Giants fans are chanting for Jackson Dart. Who's Jackson Dart? Some rookie most of them couldn't pick out of a lineup last month. But when you're watching Russ throw these tiny checkdowns while losing by 20, anybody looks better. The sad part? Wilson used to be magic. Really one of the most exciting players ever. Now he's throwing screen passes on 3rd and long while 80,000 people boo him. He's probably thinking about those Seattle Super Bowl days when everything worked. Daniel Jones is sitting on the bench making $35 million a year to hold a clipboard. So the Giants can't even bench Russ without admitting they're paying $60 million total for quarterback disasters. Peak Giants right there. Number 5. Dak Prescott and the $240 million curse of being pretty good. Dak Prescott. Cowboys just gave him the biggest contract in team history, $240 million. And Cowboys fans are already preparing for heartbreak because that's what January does to them. Watch Dak from September to December. Beautiful numbers. 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 wins. Everyone starts saying, maybe this is the year. Then playoffs show up and it's the same crushing ending every time. Cowboys have everything. CeeDee Lamb might be the best receiver in football. They got George Pickens, who's a freak. Good offensive line, decent defense. Jerry Jones cleared $37 million in cap space just to load up for another run. But then Jerry goes and trades Micah Parsons, their best defensive player, the guy who was wrecking offensive lines every week. So much for helping Dak's case. And Cowboys fans are still terrified because they've seen this before. Everything looks perfect until it's not. The pressure on Dak isn't just to win, it's to finally prove why the Cowboys keep believing in him when every January ends the same way. At some point, maybe this year, Jerry's gonna stop believing. That's when everything crashes. But Dak's pressure is nothing compared to what the next quarterback is dealing with. This guy's career might literally be over if he takes one more hit. Number 4. Tua Tagovailoa's body might quit before his contract does. Tua in Miami is just scary to watch. Dolphins gave him $212 million with $160 guaranteed. And we're all just pretending we're not watching a disaster happen in slow motion. The concussion stuff is terrifying. Every time he gets hit, everyone holds their breath. Remember that injury thing with Murray? Tua's is 10 times worse. When Tua actually plays and stays healthy, Miami's offense is insane. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are basically cheat codes. The whole thing works perfectly. but he keeps getting hurt. His decision-making gets worse when he knows he can't take another hit, so he's throwing awful passes trying to avoid contact. Dolphins fans are stuck wanting him to succeed, but also wanting him to survive his career. Miami's trapped. Can't move on from that contract. Can't count on him for 17 games. Mike McDaniel has to plan around a quarterback who might not be there next week. That's impossible in today's NFL. Number 3. Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be generational, and he's just not. Trevor Lawrence hurts to talk about. This guy was supposed to be the sure thing. Remember when he came out of Clemson? People called him the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. He was supposed to be up there with Josh, Patrick, and Lamar. Jaguars gave him $275 million because you don't let special talents walk away. Problem is, he's in year 5 and he's still just pretty good. Pretty good doesn't justify that contract. Last year he played 10 games, threw for barely 2,000 yards with 11 touchdowns and 7 picks. Jaguars fans are doing math on how much they're paying per touchdown and getting sick. The AFC South is terrible, like really one of the worst divisions in football. If Trevor was actually special, he'd own this division by now. Instead, the Jaguars are fighting for wild cards and hoping the Texans mess up. Doug Peterson keeps saying Trevor's about to break out, everything's about to click, we're in year 5 and still waiting. At some point, potential becomes, this is who he is. Jaguars might have given special money to a guy who's just good enough to keep you hoping, but never good enough to deliver. Number 2. Jordan Love has to keep a 30-year dynasty alive, and that's impossible. Jordan Love might have the most impossible job in football. The Packers have had 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to hopefully him. Packers fans just expect that to continue forever like it's normal. Green Bay gave him $220 million with a $75 million signing bonus. That's them saying, you're the guy. But being the guy in Green Bay means following 2 of the greatest ever. Love had this amazing run at the end of 2023. Looked like the next big thing, throwing touchdowns from everywhere. Made Packers fans believe the magic would continue. But one hot streak doesn't make you Aaron Rodgers. This year, the NFC North is wide open. Vikings rebuilding, Bears still being the Bears, Lions are good but beatable. This is Love's shot to prove he belongs in that Packers quarterback family. But nobody wants to say this. What if he's just good? Not special, just decent. Packers haven't had a just decent quarterback since Don Majkowski in 1989. Their whole identity is built on having a Hall of Famer under center. If Love is just another guy, it doesn't just end his career, it ends an era that's defined the Packers for 3 decades. Number 1. Justin Fields has exactly 1 year to save his entire career, and that brings us back to Justin Fields. This guy's facing the kind of pressure that ends careers forever. Jets gave him $40 million for 2 years, but let's be real, it's a 1-year deal. If he fails this season, he's done as a starter in the NFL. His career record is 14-46. That's the kind of number that makes GMs nervous. And he's already been hurt once this season. The Jets haven't had a real quarterback since Joe Namath. That was 1969. They're so desperate, they're giving $30 million guaranteed to a guy who's won 14 games in 4 years. Maybe, possibly, hopefully, he's different in New York. But New York media doesn't do maybe. They destroy you or make you a legend. No middle ground. Fields is walking into the most hostile environment in sports with a record that says, please be patient with me. This makes it beautiful and terrible. Every other quarterback on this list has multiple years to figure it out. Fields has exactly 17 games to prove he belongs in the NFL. After 6 years and all those losses, it comes down to 1 season in New York. Every bad throw gets torn apart on talk radio. Fans start booing in September. The crazy part? He took this job knowing all of that. And Justin Fields would rather die trying in New York than fade away anywhere else.